Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome to the District Yoga. Today in your practice, you may need a block, so if you have one or if you'd like to use one in your practice today, please grab it. Otherwise, today we're going to work on opening the heart space and the front of the body. It is going to be a slow build to our flow, although we will have flows in there. It will be a slow build to where we get to. So when you're in this practice, just take your time. Just know that there's never any rush. And then if you're with me, go ahead and step onto your mat. And then we're going to start in a seated posture. That could either be a comfortable seat, cross-legged, or you can come on to sitting on your shins. If you'd like to use that block even now, you could bring it underneath the sits bones. I'm not going to use it today for this seat, but you could absolutely use it in your practice. So find your way to your comfortable seat. And then wherever you went, just go ahead and bring the hands down to the knees or into the lap. And we're just going to let the eyes close down. We're going to take a couple moments again. This class will be kind of a slow build to where we're trying to go. Allowing ourselves the space to truly just pause and be in what we are, whether that's a shape in our breath, whatever that may be. Maybe the week that you've had. So as the eyes just gently start to close, I want you to just start to notice the breath. No need to change anything or shift anything quite yet. Just noticing, just being aware. And giving yourself the time to just turn in, to leave the external world and allow yourself the space to again just turn inward. Noticing the spine tall. Maybe becoming aware of any sensations, any pockets of tension that you may be holding on to. That could be in places that we typically don't think of, maybe the eyes or the jaw. The hips, maybe even the heart space. If you can today, just go ahead and start to deepen your breathing. Deepening the inhales as you fill up through the nose. And allowing the breath out to just release back through the nose. Finding a rhythm, a pace that feels this sense of fluidity in your body. If you'd like to start to count the breath, maybe a count of 4 on the inhale. A count of 4 as you exhale. Just finding a pattern, a rhythm that feels right. And we'll take 5 more breaths. Wherever you are, whether that's counting the breath or just gently aware. Take one more bottom belly breath in. Feel the lungs expand. Exhale, deflate. Let all of that air go. Gently starting to blink the eyes open. And we're going to stay in our seat. So wherever you are, we're just going to add a little upper body. Reach the arms up towards the sky on an inhale. Maybe look up. And then bend at the elbows. Let's open the chest, open the heart. You could start to tuck the chin if the head leaning back did not feel right. Stay here for 3. Noticing the collarbones spreading, the chest opening, the front of the body finding a little touch. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's get 2 more like that. So as you exhale, just bend the elbows, open the chest, the heart. Feel that expansion. Inhale, sweep it up. Bend the elbows, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale. Inhale, reach back up. We're going to add a little side bend. So left hand's going to come down towards the mat or maybe to a block. As you reach that top arm up and overhead, so right arm reaching towards the left side as well. Finding a little bit of space through the right side ribs. And then just breathing in that space, feeling that out. Just a few moments here. Take one more full breath in. Slowly lift the crown of the head up. Reach the arms back up to the ceiling if not already. Switching sides, right hand drops to the mat or to a block. Left arm up and overhead. Gaze where it feels best for the head and neck. That could be down, that could be to the side. Finding this space on the opposite side. And then again, just taking a few moments, settling in. If you're with me, one more full reach. Exhale, slowly lift the crown of the head. Arms sweep back up. One last thing. Drop the hands behind the back. Find an interlace of the fingers, clasping the hands behind you. And then just start to roll the shoulders open. If you'd like to bring the gaze up, you can. Otherwise, you can just tuck the chin and stay here. Feel, again, that sense of expansiveness through the front body. And then just breathe into that. We're definitely going to touch into this a lot today, so notice it. Maybe notice the start and how you feel versus when we come towards the end of this class. Last few moments. We're going to keep the hands interlaced. Lift the chest up a little higher. And then exhale, just bow forward. Maybe the forehead comes down to the mat. Maybe it just hovers. Feel that shoulder stretch. Last 3. Last 2. Take an inhale. Slowly lift back up through the crown of the head. Still keeping the interlace. We'll release that out and then just shake the arms out. Beautiful. Find your way to a tabletop position. If you need to pat out the feet, if the knees or the feet were speaking to you there, you can. Otherwise, wrist under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to find a variation of cat-cow here. So I'm going to add a little bit of scapular push-up type movement to this cat-cow. So if you're with me, we're going to first drop the belly and then notice that I'm squeezing the scapula together behind me. So it's not a huge drop of the belly first. It's really more I'm focusing on the back of the body, the shoulders, the scapula behind me as I squeeze them together. Take an inhale. On your exhale, we're going to press the floor away. We're going to press the scapula apart from each other. As you do, we're going to shift back as if we're coming towards child's pose. Just feel the expansiveness, the stretch through the scapula, the back of the shoulders. And then on the inhale, come back to tabletop. Press the floor and squeeze those scapula together. Yes. Take a breath in. On the exhale, press the floor away, scapula spread apart. As we do that, we shift the hips back. Don't have to go super far. Inhale, shift forward. We're going to bring those scapula again towards the spine. Press the floor away, spread the scapula apart. Shifting the hips back if that felt good. We'll get 2 more like that. Inhale to table. We bring the scapula towards each other as we drop the belly. Beautiful. Press the floor away, scapula spread apart. We shift the hips back. Breathe here. It feels a little awkward. That's okay. It's just last one. So squeeze those scapula together. Press the floor away, scapula apart. Shift the hips back. We're going to make our way back to a tabletop position. So find yourself wrists under the shoulders. Maybe just notice how the shoulders feel after that. And we're going to come into a spinal balance. So left leg's going to reach up and long. Right arm's going to draw forward. So find your length. We're not going to stay in spinal balance super long, but we will stay balancing on the left hand and the right knee. As we come into another shape, take a couple more breaths here. Just engaging through the core, pressing that left hand into the mat. We're going to open through the front body in this next shape. It's called tiger pose. So lengthen out on an inhale. We're going to bend through that left knee and reach that right arm back towards that left leg, maybe catching the foot. If you don't catch the foot, that's okay. Just feel this sense of opening through that front of the body, that front sheath of muscle or fascia or tissues that keeps our body together. And then if you have the foot, really press the foot in the hand. Notice the right shoulder finding a little openness as well. Take an inhale. Make your way back to spinal balance. Find a little more length. Breathe in. Set it down, tabletop position. Maybe wiggle the hips. If you'd like to shift back to child's pose, you can. Otherwise, we're just going to switch sides for that. So tabletop position. Right leg draws long, left arm reaches forward. You could point or flex that back toe. You decide what feels best today. Pressing that right hand into the mat, floor and earth away from the upper body. Beautiful. Couple more breaths. You know what's coming next. So last 3 for 2. Take an inhale, a little more length. Bend through the right knee. We're going to reach that left hand back, maybe catching the foot. If you do, again, press the foot into the hand. It's a little element of balance too, right? As you balance on the opposite limbs, right hand, left knee. Beautiful, opening the front of the body. We also touch into that quadricep in the right leg. But the core, the abdominals feel a little opening, a little expansiveness. The chest, that left shoulder. Take your last couple. Breathe it here. Inhale. Come back to spinal balance. Find a little more length. 1 more breath. Set it down, tabletop position. Wiggle those hips out. From here, step the feet back. Find an upper push-up position, or you could have stayed on your knees if you wanted that. Again, this is going to be kind of a slow build to where we're going, so no rush to get any place, right? Press the feet back, press the floor away, engage through the core. On an inhale, shift to the tippy toes if you're on your feet. Lower all the way down to the belly. Unravel the toes. The forehead's going to stay here on the mat for these first couple. So take a couple moments. Just feel the hands pressing into the mat. They're still under the shoulders. And then the forehead's going to stay where it is. Take a huge breath in. Massive breath out. We're going to lift the right foot up, just the right foot on the inhale. Keep the forehead down. Exhale, lower that right foot. On the inhale, left leg lifts. Keep the right foot pressing into the mat. Forehead still down. Lower that back down. 1 more on each side. Right leg lifts. Inhale. Set it down. Inhale, lift the left. Exhale to lower. Beautiful. Both legs are going to lift up
On the inhale, hands still under the shoulders. We are going to add the chest in a little. Lower back down. One more. Inhale, lift the legs. Lower the legs back down. We're going to add the upper body to that. So first we're going to lift the right leg like we did when we started. So on your inhale, lift the chest, lift the right leg. Just a different variation of cobra here. Exhale, lower down. On your next breath, left leg lifts, chest lifts, breathe in, cobra. Lower back down. Right side again. Right leg lifts, inhale, chest lifts. Lower back down. Left leg lifts, chest lifts, cobra. Lower back down, yes. One more like this. We're going to lift both feet and the chest. When you're ready, lift up, inhale, both feet lifted, chest lifted. You're probably not super high, that's okay. Inhale, lower back down. Let's just get one traditional cobra here, hands under the shoulders. Lift the chest, lift the heart. You might lift a little higher. Take an inhale, you might not. Lower back down, tuck the toes, and either press through table or plank to lift the hips and come into your first downward facing dog. Pedal the feet out, shake the head, whatever kind of feels good for you. Noticing your fingers are spreading wide, the palms pressing firm into the mat. Head hanging super heavy. Maybe shake it out, yes. Maybe shake it out, no. Find a little movement, your first downward facing dog. Sometimes I like to lift up onto my tippy toes or press the heels back. If movement isn't calling your name, stillness is absolutely available to you. Find your last three. Beautiful for two. One more huge breath in. Massive breath out. On your next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg up. 3-leg down dog. On the exhale, step that right foot through. Hands are going to stay low. If you'd like to use blocks under your hands, you can. We're going to pulse and get into the hip and this front right leg a little bit. So notice the hips are kind of dropping down. We're finding a little stretch, a little bend through that left knee. And the hands are low. The chest is lifted. I want to shine my heart through. Take one more inhale here. On the exhale, start to straighten that front leg. It's probably not going to go towards completely straight. You're not super warm yet. Back leg is still on the ball of the back toes. So it's almost kind of like an extended or long variation of pyramid pose. Hands are still low to the mat. Take a couple moments, feeling this in that right leg, right thigh, the hamstrings, saying hello. Let's pulse that for two. So bend through that front knee. Chest is going to lift up. Hips drop. Exhale, start to straighten that front leg. Shift the hips back. Inhale, one more. Lift the chest. Drop the hips. Straighten the front leg. Drop the head in towards that leg. Rebend that front knee. Hands are still low. If you're with me, step that left foot to meet the right. Forward fold, maybe bent knees. Bringing the hands to the shins. Find your first half flat back. Belly up and in. Exhale, bow into those legs. Forward fold. On your next inhale, stand up, reach up tall. Bring the arms up towards the sky. And then bend at the elbows, open the chest, open the heart. Stay here. I want you to notice the feet really rooted into the mat. And I want you to notice the front of the body. Also notice if you've kind of started dipping in towards that back, if you have a back bend already, start to tuck that tailbone underneath as the arms are wide. So we're engaging through the front of our body, the core, and not just dumping into that spine. Take one more inhale. Bring the hands to the heart space as you exhale.
Beautiful. Open the arms back up, bending at those elbows. Notice we're not dipping into the tailbone, into the spine. Bring the hands back to the heart. Exhale. One more like that. Inhale to open. Find the expansion. Exhale, bring it back to the heart space. Reach up on the inhale. Forward fold, dive it back out. Half lift as you breathe in. Plant that hand, step back to plank and lower all the way to your belly. Forehead to the mat, unravel the toes, hands still under the shoulders. On the inhale, right leg lifts, chest lifts. Lower back down, yes. Inhale, left leg lifts, chest lifts. Lower back down, one more. Both legs lift, chest lifts, cobra. Lower back down and make your way back to downward facing dog. Again, no rush. Let's just try that out on the other side. Feeling it out. Again, never feeling this need to move faster than where we are. Just experiencing these poses with each breath. On the inhale, left leg's going to draw up and long. On the exhale, step the foot through, hands stay low, and you're going to drop the hips a little low to your degree, of course. And we're just going to lift the chest, lift the heart up as we find a variation of low lunge with the heart drawing forward. Take a couple moments here, settling in. Different side, different sensations. Just notice that. If you're with me, chest up on an inhale. Slow as you need, start to straighten that front left leg. Again, might not go completely straight, that's okay. You just want to go to where you feel this in that left hamstring here. Last couple moments. Hands still low. I'm on my fingertips. You could be too, or you could be on the blocks. Just keeping those nearby. On the inhale, bend the knee. Chest is going to lift up. Heart shines forward. Drop the hips. Exhale, start to straighten that front leg again towards straight, maybe not completely straight. One more. Bend the knee, chest up. Straighten that front leg as you fold in. Bend the knee, chest is going to lift on an inhale, and then as you're ready, step the right foot forward, forward fold, top of the mat. Halfway lift on the breath in, forward bow, dive back into the legs. Inhale, grow tall, reach it up. Bring the hands to the heart space as you breathe out. With the elbows bent, open the chest, open the heart, hands expand out. Bring the hands back to the heart space. Circle the arms up, inhale. Forward fold, dive it out. Half lift, breathe in. We're going to get that same variation of our vinyasa as you step back, lower all the way to your belly. Right leg's going to lift as the chest lifts, cobra. Lower back down. Left leg lifts as the chest lifts. Lower it down. Both legs lift, chest lifts, cobra. Lower back down and make your way back to your downward facing dog. Just reset. Finding the breath again. Each time you get to downward facing dog, kind of coming back as if it's a fresh start. As if it's a place to press the new play button, to restart again. A new opportunity. That's going to be our warm-up A. Again, no rush. We'll sort of pick up the pace a little bit. Nothing too intense though. A couple more rounds. So if you're with me, right leg's going to lift up. Inhale. Step that right foot through. Chest lifts, hips drop. Straighten that front leg as you bow in. Rebend the knee, chest up. Straighten the front leg, bow forward. One more. Inhale, chest lifts, hips drop.
Straighten that leg, fold it in. Rebend the knee. Step that left foot to meet the right. Forward bow. Halfway up. Fold back in. Grow tall, reach up. Hands to the heart space, tailbone tucks. Expand the arms out wide with the elbows bent. Bring it back to the heart space. Chest is gonna reach up. Forward bow, dive in. Half flat back. Plant the hands, step back to plank and lower to your belly. This time, both feet are gonna lift. Chest lifts too. Lower back down. Come back to downward facing dog. Just reset. On the inhale, left leg draws long. Step the foot through. Drop the hips, lift the heart. Straighten the front leg, bow in. 2 more. Inhale. And an exhale to straighten. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, straighten the front leg, bow it in. Rebend the knee, chest up. Step the right foot to meet the left, forward dive. Inhale, find the length through the spine. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, root to rise, upward salute. Hands to the heart space, a little tuck of the tailbone. Expand the arms out wide to the sides. Bring it back in. Circle the arms up, inhale. Forward fold, dive it out. Half lift, breathe in. Plant the hands, step back to that plank and lower to your belly. Both legs are gonna lift as the chest rises too. Lower back down and make your way to downward facing dog. Reset. One last round for those. On the inhale, right leg draws up. Step it through, drop the hips, lift the heart. Straighten and fold. Inhale, rebend. Straighten and fold. Last one, chest up, hips low. Fold into that front leg. Rebend the knee as the hands are still low. You step it forward, forward bow. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, dive it in. Grow tall, reach it up. Hands to the heart space as you breathe out. Open the arms wide, scapula squeeze together. Bring it back into the heart. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway up, plant the hands, step back to plank and lower to your belly. Both legs lift as the chest rises too. Lower down and come back to downward facing dog as you breathe it out. Last side, last time for these. Left leg draws up. Step that through. Drop the hips, lift the heart. Straighten and fold into that left leg. Rebend. Shine your heart forward. Beautiful. Straighten. Rebend. Last one. Straighten that front leg. Feel that hamstring. Rebend as the chest lifts. Step the right foot forward, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bow it in. Grow tall, reach it up. Hands to the heart space, a little tuck of the tail. Expand the arms wide. Bring it back in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Plant the hands, step it. You decide what you want to do this time. I'm going to do the same. Lift the feet, lift the heart. You could come to a traditional cobra, maybe even an up dog if you were ready. Otherwise, make your way back to downward facing dog. Whew. Breathe here. We'll say that is it for our first warm-up. And we'll get into our second one again. Still not in any rush. Still noticing that it doesn't have to be quick to feel this physical practice. And it especially shouldn't be quick as we start to open our heart space. Never any pressure, never any rush, never any judgment as we let our practice unfold. Let's move right on, pressing the chest back. Slowly step or hop top of the mat, forward fold. Half flat back, find that inhale. Exhale, bow back in, bend the knees to 90. Weight's gonna shift into the heels. Keep the arms low to start, so maybe touch the floor with the fingertips. Notice I'm sending my hips back. As I shift the shins back, I should be able to lift up my toes. I should be able to see my toes. And you really start to feel that in the back of the thighs, right? Breathe here. When you're ready, sweep those arms up, lift the chest up, stay. We're gonna build a little bit of heat in this chair pose. First, Utkatasana. Just breathe strong. Again, taking it as slow as you need. We're gonna add or switch up the upper body here. So reach up a little taller. Bring the hands behind the back. Interlace those fingers. We did this at the beginning. So let the chest open. Feel the legs really start to turn on. Belly working. Breath steady. Let's give this 3. Feeling that expansiveness, that opening through the collarbones. For 2. Last 1. Take an inhale, lift the chest up, keep the interlace of the hands. Start to straighten the legs and hinge at those hips as you find a forward fold with this shoulder stretch. Hands still interlaced. Stay here for 3. Last 2. Beautiful. Inhale. On the exhale, release the hands down to the mat. We're going to find a half lift. Breathe in. Traditional vinyasa, so you decide, step back, jump back, float back through that chaturanga, finding your back bend and back into downward facing dog. Just reset. Beautiful. Right leg's gonna lift up on the inhale. Step the foot through. You're gonna stay on the ball of the back toes, and on your inhale, lift the arms, lift the chest, lift the heart, leading with the heart if you can. Notice I keep the legs strong, I keep the legs steady. We're gonna stay with this. Crescent lunge, the hips square towards the front of your mat. Arms reaching, shoulders down and away from the ears. Breath steady. Stay with it. Beautiful for 3. Last 2. Just like our warm-up A, reach up on the inhale, bend at the elbows, but as you do, straighten that front leg. You're opening the chest, and similar to our warm-up A, we're straightening the leg on the breath out. Let's pump that through, pulse it through. On the inhale, rebend, crescent lunge, reach up. On the exhale, straighten and bend through the elbows, opening the front body. One more, inhale, crescent lunge, lower. Straighten and bend at the elbows, opening. Inhale, come back to crescent lunge. Exhale for warrior 2. Open those hips out. That should feel nice as the hips have been fairly neutral. And we've gotten into those a couple times. The thighs, the hamstrings, the hips. Breathe here. Warrior 2. Again, never any rush. I told you today would definitely be a slow build to where we're trying to go. Although even with the slow build, you're building that heat. I'm definitely starting to feel a sweat start to trickle in. Last 3. For 2. Beautiful. Reverse your warrior. Find that inhale, side body stretch. Left hand down low or wrap behind the back. Right arm reaching, inhale. Cartwheel the hands down. find a vinyasa, traditional, or you can keep with what we've done throughout the beginning of class, lifting both legs with it in your cobra. Come back to downward facing dog. On the inhale, left leg's gonna sweep long. Step it through, ball of the back toes. Find the footings as you come in to your crescent lunge. So check in. Bottom body's gonna stay strong. Upper body's gonna be light. Breath is gonna be steady and fluid. Keep the breath with you. Strong and steady. Again, we're gonna add a little pulse to this beginning crescent lunge. Reach up on an inhale, crescent. As you exhale, bend the elbows, start to straighten that front leg. Again, doesn't have to go completely straight, your degree. It's a little balance too, so find that. And we'll pulse that through 2 more times. Rebend, crescent on the inhale, arms up. Straighten and bend the elbows, open the collarbones. Rebend, crescent lunge, inhale, last one. Straighten the front leg, bend the elbows, open that chest. Come back to crescent on an inhale. Open out warrior 2. This should feel like a little relief for that back right hip. Breathe. Again, strong and steady wins the race typically. No need to rush. Stay here. Gaze steady over that front middle finger. Maybe sink a little deeper into that front left knee. Whew. From here, keep the legs as they are. Flip the front palm. Reverse that warrior. Find a sweet side body stretch. Legs stay strong. Breath stays with you. Beautiful. If you're with me, one more inhale. Cartwheel the hands down, step it back, find your variation of vinyasa. Again, that can be the variation that we did at the beginning of practice. That could be a chaturanga to an up dog. Otherwise, we make our way back to downward facing dog. And we're just gonna flow that through a couple times, similar to our warm-up A. Press the chest back. Step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, fold it in. Chair pose, arm sweep up first. Drop the hands behind the back. Find that interlace. Chest rolls, inhale. Straighten the legs, keep the interlace, forward fold. On the inhale, find a half lift, releasing those hands. Plant the hands down, step it, jump it, float it. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale back to dog. Right leg high. Step it through. On the inhale, crescent lunge, root to rise. Straighten that front leg, bend the elbows, open the heart. Rebend, inhale, crescent. Straighten the leg, bend the elbows. Inhale, yes. Open the heart space as you straighten that front leg. Come back to crescent, inhale. Warrior 2 as you exhale. Reverse up and back. Finding a little bit more flow as you cartwheel it down and find your vinyasa. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale, that left leg rises. Step it through. Crescent as I inhale, rise. Straighten the front leg, bend the elbows, open the chest. Inhale, rebend. Bend the elbows, straighten that front leg. One more, inhale. Straighten and open. Rebend, crescent. Warrior 2, open out. Reverse inhale. To your mat, find your vinyasa as you cartwheel it down. You could skip any vinyasa if you needed to. Otherwise, we just meet in downward facing dog, and we have one last round for those. On the inhale, right leg draws up. Step that foot through. Inhale for crescent. Straighten the leg, bend the elbows. Rebend to crescent. Straighten your front leg, open it out. Last one, inhale. Straighten and open. Crescent on the inhale. Warrior two, open out. Inhale for reverse. Cartwheel it down. You decide, chaturanga or not. Downward facing dog. We got one last side. Left leg's gonna draw long. Step that through. Inhale, I rise. Straighten that front leg, open it out. Rebend, crescent. This should feel good for those legs, right? We're getting a lot, not only the heart, straighten and open, but also the bottom body, reach up. Warrior two, open. Inhale, reverse. Cartwheel it down, say goodbye to all of that. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Whew. Let's crawl the hands towards the back of the mat. Just find yourself in a standing forward fold. I have my feet about hips width. You could too. Let your head just hang. Just take a couple moments to reset before we get our last bit of flow, right? Those are our warm-ups to build to our next series. Whew. If you want to add a little bit more, let's add a twist. Bend through the left knee. Place the left hand towards the center of your mat. Right arm's going to swim up towards the sky as you find a couple breaths in this pose. That's if you wanted to go to the twist. You did not have to. You could stay in that fold. We're just here for 3. Last 2. And 1. Inhale. Back to forward fold. Let's just switch that out. Bend through the right knee. Right hand to center. Left arm reaches up and long as you find the twist on the opposite side. Notice the heart rate slowing back down. We got it up a little during the second warm-up series. Body definitely warmer than where you started. Notice maybe, some awareness to the front of the body. Some awareness to the legs. We definitely got some circulation moving there. Take one more inhale. Forward bow, dive it out. Once you're ready, crawl back out, downward facing dog. And again, we'll start our next, really in our last flow of this sequence of this class today. Right leg's gonna draw long, inhale. Step the foot through. We're coming to crescent lunge. These shapes in the beginning are gonna be fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Crescent on the inhale. Beautiful, reach up tall. Warrior two opens as you exhale. Stay here a couple moments. Been here before though, so just check in. Hips open, legs steady and strong, upper body light. Gaze over that front middle finger. Keeping the legs as they are. Again, been here before. Flip the front palm. Reverse your warrior. Find that side stretch. Legs still staying rooted. Right knee still staying bent. And here's where we're going to add on a little bit. We're going to add a little balance. Right? We got to get that little touch of balance. One more inhale. Reach it. If you'd like to use your block, you might want to grab it as you transition your way to a half moon pose. In fact, if you have the block, we're going to use it. Right hand's going to be on the block. I brought mine to the highest height. I'm trying to create this really long line from my spine to that left foot. Breathe as you engage through the belly. If you wanted a little bit more challenge, you could hover that right hand and not use the block. It is just a more challenging pose as you lift and hover that right leg. Breathe here wherever you are. If you fell, come back up. Half moon. Take one more inhale. Rebend the bottom knee. Let's reverse that warrior. Inhale. You should have felt that along that left side body. Now countering it with the right. Inhale. Cartwheel the hands down. Find a vinyasa. Lower slow. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe out. Let's switch to the left leg. Left leg high. Step through. Ball of the back toes. Crescent rise. Stay here a couple moments. Again, just downloading it on each side. We'll flow it through a couple times. And the last round we're going to add on. If you're with me. Inhale, reach it up tall. Beautiful. From here, exhale, warrior two. Back foot flat. Front heel in line with that back middle arch. Again, been here before. Just check back in. You know, our body shifts when our body gets warmer. Is it deeper? I don't know. Is it less? Can you come back in to that front left knee? Keep the legs as they are. Flip the front palm. Reverse that warrior. Inhale, up and back. Yes, I can. We're going to transition to that half moon pose. So if you want to use the block, you can. If you just want to hover, you can also just come into that standing hover. Slow transition as you lift that right foot. I'm going to hover my left hand and find the balance. That right arm swims up, or it could be at the right hip. You decide. Yes, block or not. We're working through that right glute med. If you fall, doesn't matter. Come back to what feels best. Come back to something you can sustain. Last three. Last two. One more inhale. Bend through the bottom left knee. Reverse that warrior again, countering that stretch that we just got on the right side. Left side finds its stretch too. Cartwheel it down. Find a vinyasa. Lower. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Come back in. Stay here a couple moments. I want you to just notice. Notice the energy. Maybe notice the shift from where you started. We're going to flow this through about 3 rounds. 1 breath, 1 movement. The last round will add to it. Add a little more element of balance, a little challenge to that half moon. So let's get into it. Right leg high. Step it through. Inhale for crescent rise. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale for reverse. On the exhale, shift forward to your half moon. Either hover or using that block on the highest setting, long spine. Flex through those left toes. Big inhale. Bend through the bottom knee. Reverse on your next breath in. Cartwheel it down. Vinyasa, lower. Inhale. Downward facing dog. It goes by quick. Left leg high. Step through. Inhale to rise. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale for reverse. It's part of the transition. As you lean it forward, again, no rush to get there. Half moon pose. Float or hover that left hand or to the top of that highest setting on the block. Last couple moments, last couple breaths, using your core, using that glute med. Bend through the bottom knee, reverse inhale. Cartwheel it down, vinyasa, lower slow. Hard up. Downward facing dog, breathe it out. Right leg long, step it through. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse up and back. Find your half moon pose, hovering or not. Take a huge breath in.
Bend the bottom knee and come into that reverse warrior. To your mat, find your vinyasa flow. Inhale, this heart opener should feel good. Downward facing dog. Left leg up. Step it. Grow tall. Warrior two. Inhale, up and back. Transitioning to half moon pose. Yes, I can. Take a huge breath in. Bend through the bottom knee, reverse up and back. To your mat, find a vinyasa. We have one last round, and we're gonna add on. Downward facing dog, and then that's it for all this standing. Right leg draws high. Step it. Grow tall, crescent lunge. Warrior two, we're gonna stay here. Here's the addition. So we're gonna add a little bit of opening again to that heart space, just like we've done in a couple other things in our warm-ups. Drop the hands behind the back. Interlace those fingers. Let the chest lift. Just stay here. Notice the front of the body. Maybe let the eyes close. Maybe notice the heart bumping. That cardiovascular system. And we're gonna take this into a humble warrior. So lift the chest up, inhale. Bow forward towards the front of that right knee as you fold in. Right knee stays bent. Maybe the right shoulder comes to the inside edge of that right knee. Head hangs super heavy. Breath stays really steady. Staying with your breath. That's going to keep you present. We just have a few more shapes. One more inhale here. Keeping the hands interlaced. We're going to lift the chest back up. Use your core. Yes, you can. And I want you to notice the chest. It's opening towards the side of your mat. I don't want your chest to be forward as we transition to this next pose. We're coming into a bound half moon. So those half moon transitions, again, slow and controlled. Chest is to the left side of your mat. Send the gaze forward about a foot in front of that right foot, right toes. We're going to keep the chest to the left as we start to bend through that front knee a little more. Shift forward into a bound half moon pose. That left leg does not have to get as high as it was before. Whoo! Breathe steady. Yes, a little balance, a little challenge, a little opening. Yes, last 3. For 2. Rebend through that bottom knee. We're going to come back to that reverse warrior. Up and back. Stay here for 3. Beautiful for 2. And 1. Inhale. Cartwheel it down. Vinyasa or down dog. Inhale. Make your way back. Whew. Last time, last little thing. Left leg high. Step through. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale for reverse. Beautiful. Come back to warrior 2. Let's drop the hands behind the back. Find that interlace. You could switch the clasp, probably to the awkward clasp if you'd like. You don't have to, but I went ahead and did it. It just changes the shape a little bit. Changes the patterns in your brain, right? Your brain's used to doing one way, and then we just switch it up on it. Breathe steady. Chest lifted. Notice again, my chest is turned towards the right side of my mat. My breath is steady. My legs are strong. One more inhale, lift the chest up. Send the gaze about a foot in front of those left toes. Start to lean forward into your variation of half moon. But I want you to notice, if you turn to the chest towards the mat, open it back up towards the right side of your mat. You might fall. That's okay.
Breathe, breathe, breathe. Flex through those right toes. Activate through your core. Last couple breaths. Last little thing. Yes. Yes, you can. One more inhale. Bend through the bottom knee. Let's come to reverse warrior. Stay here for 3. Last inhale. To your mat, vinyasa, all the way out of that. Heart up. Downward facing dog. Whew. If you're with me, press the chest back. Set the knees down, tabletop position. Let's find a couple cat-cows. Just traditional today. Drop the belly, send the gaze up. Dome and round through the back, tuck that chin. Inhale, belly drops. Exhale, dome and round through that cat pose. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. One more round. Inhale. Exhale it out. Come back to a neutral spine. Now we're going to touch a shape that we did at the beginning of class. Lift that left leg up and long. Right arm draws forward. We're going to come into that tiger pose. Bend to that back left knee. Reach that right arm back. Either catch the foot or just reach for it. Whatever your body is trying to do today or wants to do today. If you did catch the foot, press the foot into the hand. Notice the expansiveness. Maybe drawing that awareness back to where you started in this pose, how much more open you might be. Take an inhale. Release it out. Spinal balance. Set it down. Wiggle those hips and then just shift back. Just take some time to notice that side. Maybe you feel a little circulation through that left quadricep. Maybe you feel a little opening through that right shoulder. Maybe even through the abdominal wall here. Last couple breaths to notice. Massive inhale. Exhale that out. Come back to tabletop position. We'll just switch sides, so right leg draws long. Left arm reaches forward. Find your balance first. Only when you're ready, bend through that right knee. Reach back. Maybe catch it with that left hand. Press the foot into the hand. Open that left shoulder. Breathe it here. Whew. Feel that quadricep, that right quadricep getting a nice touch. The abdominal wall. That chest open out, inhale. Come back to previous pose. Set it down, table. Shift back. Coming into a seat on your shins. Again, just taking some time to notice. Maybe a sense of some symmetry now. See if you can notice the area of the heart space. As we slow this practice down and come towards our final shapes, maybe feel the depth, not only of the front of the heart, but also the back of the heart. They say that the front of our heart space is the area in which we give, but the back of our heart space is really the area in which we receive. See if you can feel both. Oftentimes it's easier to feel the giving side.
Notice your capability of receiving just as much as you give. One more inhale. Exhale that out. Go ahead and make your way to a Shavasana. Whether that's on your back or on your belly. I'm going to go ahead and come onto my back. And I'm going to close with one hand on my heart, one hand on my belly. Total rest. Allowing the body to be heavy. Allowing the heart to stay open. If you have more time to stay, please do. Otherwise, gently bringing some awareness to the feet and the fingers. Maybe finding your way to a full body stretch. And then slowly making your way off to one side and back to a seat. I just want to say thank you for showing up and sharing your energy with me. I hope you leave feeling a little more light and free. Namaste.